When you think of an Indian kitchen, an Indian household, what is it that comes to your mind? I would presume it would be our much loved spices. Our spices are synonymous with what we eat, really, our food. However, of late, these spices have earned a bit of a bad reputation. There are concerns around adulteration. Our spices have also been found with cancer-causing toxins. So what does the Indian Council of Medical Research have to say about these problems of adulteration? What is the kind of advice that the ICMR is offering to all of us? Chetna finds out in this report.
When you think of a good Indian dish, it's hard to separate it from the spices that go in it. Spices are synonymous with the Indian kitchen. But of late, these spices have been in the news for the wrong reasons. Toxic chemicals and cancer-causing agents have been found in them. Prompting the Indian Council of Medical Research to release a set of guidelines around the use of spices. To reduce the risk of contamination and also to make safer choices while buying spices, the ICMR is suggested to buy whole spices like right here instead of powdered ones because it's easier to adulterate powdered spices. Now you can grind spices at home either by using a mortar and pestle or using a grinder like right here. So I'm going to grind a bunch of haldi, and in less than 30 seconds you'll have a fresh batch to use right at home. There you have it, a fresh batch of spices that you can now use in your dishes. Now, there are a lot of health benefits of using whole spices. The first one is that it retains the freshness of the spice. So that gives your food a special aroma and a wonderful flavor. The second benefit is that it retains the nutrients, which obviously makes it a healthier choice. Consuming whole spices can boost your immunity. And the best part is that they have a longer shelf life than ground spices. Ground spices are prone to adulteration, and it is more common than we thought. Top brands like MDH, Everest, Gajanan, Shan and Shiba Taza failed quality tests in Rajasthan, where their spices were found to contain pesticides, insecticides and carcinogenic chemicals. Last month, in a raid, Delhi police uncovered a massive racket in 2 factories involving manufacture of spurious spices. Police seized 15 tons of adulterated spices, which were found to contain spoiled leaves, rice, millets, wood dust, chili heads and even acids. Earlier this year, Everest and MDH products were banned by Hong Kong and Singapore, later Nepal. The shocking move came after the products were found to have carcinogenic ingredients. Cancer-causing ingredients were found in MDH's Madras curry powder, sambar masala powder and curry powder, as well as in Everest Group's fish curry masala. The culprit, ethylene oxide, is linked to an increased risk of breast cancer and lymphoma.
There are various groups and classifications of a cancer-causing substance, and ethylene oxide is in the category 1. So it's a pretty dangerous and risky thing. So as long as a product uses too much ethylene oxide, more than the safe limit, we should definitely avoid it. And that is what happened with many of the leading masala brands that in Singapore and Hong Kong, they use too much of ethylene oxide.
Ethanol oxide is used as a preservative kind of thing. When we actually transport some stuff, it has to be given some degree of protection. So it depends when it crosses the levels of protection, that is where the problem starts. And then the whole safety of a human body is considered.
But safety concerns regarding Indian spices isn't new. In 2015, Saudi Arabia banned green chilies from India, citing high levels of pesticide residue. In the past, France restricted the selling of Indian chili powder due to the presence of a carcinogenic coloring agent called Sudan red. More recently, between October of 2023 and April this year, the United States rejected 1/3 of MDH exports due to contamination with salmonella. Salmonella is a bacteria known to cause gastrointestinal illnesses. In fact, between September 2020 and April 2024, a whopping 527 Indian products were known to contain carcinogenic chemicals, according to a report by the European Food Safety Authority. This is despite repeatedly flagging the use of ethylene oxide and even banning its use in the European Union.
Spices can also contain adulterants in the form of artificial colors, especially in red chili powder or in turmeric powder to give them a vibrant color. Spices can also be contaminated with some microorganisms such as bacteria or fungal spores, and many times with some antimicrobial agents, fungicides or urea from fertilizers have been found to contaminate spices.
With safety concerns abuzz about Indian spices, the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India tested samples of spices in powdered form in April this year. An inspection drive in spice manufacturing units and products manufactured found no traces of ethylene oxide.
What is lacking is the implementation. So I feel enough testing is not being done. They need to pick up samples more frequently, not just for spices, but other food items, especially dairy like milk, paneer, oils, etc. Also, there should be more transparency, because when the testing is done, the results should also be accessible to all.
So, are spices bad? Absolutely not. But there are better ways of consuming these. Experts suggest inspecting the aroma, color and texture of spices. Anything other than the norm might indicate adulteration. And of course, buy with caution and only purchase goods that are certified. With Chetna Vasudevan in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.